Have you ever seen a rhino and an elephant become best friends? In the vast, sun-drenched plains of the African savanna, where danger lurks behind every bush and survival is a constant struggle, an extraordinary story unfolds, one that speaks to the heart of compassion, courage, and the unbreakable bonds of nature. Our story begins with a quiet tragedy. A young rhino calf, no more than a few months old, has been separated from its mother. The exact circumstances are unclear. Perhaps poachers claimed her, or maybe she fell victim to the brutal rhythms of the wild. Whatever the reason, the calf now finds itself alone in a world where being alone often means being prey. The camera lingers on the calf, small and wide-eyed, nervously scanning its surroundings. The dry wind whistles through the tall grass, and distant calls of predators echo in the air. Each rustle of the bush sends the calf into a spiral of panic. Its soft whimpers are a cry for help, but in the vastness of the wilderness, who would come? And then, the real threat emerges. Out from the shadows slinks a pack of hyenas, notorious scavengers and cunning predators. Their gait is low and deliberate, eyes locked on the vulnerable calf. These aren't the comical creatures often portrayed in cartoons. In reality, hyenas are powerful hunters with crushing jaws and pack tactics that can overwhelm animals much larger than themselves. The hyenas spread out, forming a loose semicircle around the calf. They aren't rushing in. They're patient. They've hunted before. They know fear weakens. They're waiting for the perfect moment. The tension builds. The calf spins helplessly, unsure of where to run. There's no mother to call out to, no herd to blend into, just dust, heat, and the steady advance of predators. But then, something shifts. Far in the distance, a low rumble is heard. Not thunder, not a growl. It's deeper, heavier, like the earth itself is moving. The hyenas pause, ears perked, sniffing the air, and then, emerging from the shimmering heat waves, a herd of elephants comes into view. Majestic, towering, a wall of strength and intelligence. The matriarch leads the group, her ears wide, her eyes sharp. She's sensed the distress. Elephants are incredibly intuitive animals, especially when it comes to the pain of others. And something about this orphaned calf has stirred something powerful in her. Without hesitation, the herd begins to close in. The hyenas retreat a few steps, confused but cautious. They know elephants are not to be trifled with. Still, they outnumber the rhino, and perhaps they think the elephants will simply pass by. But they don't. The matriarch moves directly between the calf and the hyenas. Behind her, younger elephants form a protective circle, creating a living wall around the rhino. The calf is dwarfed in their shadow, but, for the first time, it no longer shakes. One of the younger elephants extends its trunk, gently brushing the rhino's back. It's a gesture of comfort, one species offering assurance to another. The rhino, sensing the change, lowers its head and exhales softly. But the danger isn't over. The hyenas, frustrated by the intervention, grow bold. They circle again, snapping their jaws and barking loudly, trying to intimidate the herd. But elephants are not easily provoked. The matriarch raises her trunk and trumpets, an ear-splitting blast that echoes across the savanna. That's the final warning. In a powerful display of unity, the elephants advance in formation, stomping the ground, flapping their ears, and swinging their trunks. The earth trembles under their weight. The hyenas, though brave in numbers, understand they've lost this fight. One by one, they scatter into the grass, their hunt ended before it even began. Silence returns. The herd stands tall, still surrounding the calf, as if declaring to the world, "This little one is under our protection now." What unfolds next is truly heartwarming. Over the following hours, the calf begins to follow the elephants. It walks beside them, drinks when they drink, rests when they rest. The matriarch doesn't push it away. Instead, she allows it to stay close, even letting it nap in the shade of her massive body. In the wild, bonds like these are rare, but they are real. Elephants have been known to grieve their dead, to remember old friends, and now, here in this quiet corner of Africa, they've extended their empathy to a creature entirely unlike themselves. This is more than just protection. It's a symbol of hope, a gesture of kinship, a reminder that in nature, the instincts to nurture and protect can sometimes transcend species lines. As the sun begins to set, casting long golden rays across the land, the herd moves onward, and the rhino follows. Not as an outsider, but as one of them. This story isn't just about survival, it's about connection. In a world where species fight for dominance and space, moments like these stand out as beacons of what's possible. That even in the harshest environments, compassion still has a place. That family isn't always defined by blood or kind, but by care and choice. The orphaned rhino, once alone and terrified, now walks confidently beside its new guardians. It has found a new herd, a new home, and perhaps a new chance at life. As we watch this scene unfold, we're reminded of the strength of nature, not just in its physical power, but in its emotional depth. These elephants didn't need to help. There was no benefit for them. Yet they did. And in doing so, they wrote a story that will stay in our hearts forever. Because sometimes, the greatest heroes aren't the ones who fight for themselves, but the ones who fight for those who cannot fight alone. And in this vast wilderness, where survival is never guaranteed, an orphaned rhino found a second chance, not through strength, not through speed, but through the unexpected kindness of giants.